Do we have any further action to take in regards to the closed session, the items that were covered?
I make a motion that the town manager, the general manager, MUD general manager, notify the town manager that based on advice from legal counsel, the town fire ILA that was submitted to replace the 2013 fire personnel services was not acceptable by this board. It appears that the town ILA that was submitted combined the 2013 fire personnel services and the 2008 fire services to the PID ILAs. Also, this did not address properties out of district, outside the PID, or cover the entire MUD district. I also would include that we direct the MUD general manager to provide this board all options by our May 2016 meeting.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If no further discussion, we'll call for the vote.
Well, I have discussion.
Good.
My discussion is I'm not going to vote for this motion because this is the second meeting we've had the town proposal. And I believe it's high time that we told them what we wanted to do instead of stalling for another month.
Any further discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
One
2, 3,
abstain.
4. All those opposed?
You did vote.
Please.
I opposed. I raised my hand.
Okay.
Well, I know that I added to mine the fire ILA. The issue that I'm concerned about is that from everything that was included in video of the MUD meetings, I haven't seen them take any action or give any direction about the agreement. In fact, I've seen quite the opposite, to where they seem to be going down the path of investigating all ways to not sign an ILA and hire their own people. That's what I'm seeing. So I have this concern that we're getting no communications from them about what they would like to see in the ILA, and they're headed down a path to, in essence, separate and do their own thing. So I think that's a severe financial impact to both entities.
With the MUD cancellation of that contract prior to April 1st, we are under a deadline of September 30th at midnight, because at that point, fire service will not exist for the PID and other properties, and we have, as the town is the employer of all the firefighters, we do have that issue. And so something has to be worked out, and if not, then as the town, we need to be coming up with some alternative strategies to be able to provide that service to our residents to ensure that they're protected. It's our duty to ensure that the health, safety, and welfare of our residents is addressed. It's one of our primary, it's the primary mission.
I guess if my feeling at this point is if at your meeting you don't see significant hope, significant actions that you feel like will get there, then I feel very strongly that we need to look for contracts with other agencies to serve our citizens. Because it looks like we would have no agreement. We would have a set of employees. The employees would be in a situation where they have to decide where do they want to go to work. We would be overstaffed because we wouldn't need all of them to run the ambulances. We would have a place for an ambulance or a place for people to sleep. And I really just think that the action the MUD took without any proposal of change was a very poor decision. I requested specifically of President Moss about those, what was the problem with the existing agreement as to why you would cancel it. I've asked MUD directors that same question. I have gotten nothing in writing specific. And so, from what I see, is their direction is, we don't plan on doing anything. Because if they planned on trying to solve the problem, they would have been back, in my opinion. So I'm very concerned about that, council. So, Rylan?
How many times have they met since they notified us of cancellation? Roughly.
Two
They
meetings?
met twice, but they received it right before their meeting when they sat down. So they didn't, I think the attorney had one meeting where she talked to them
I
about.
believe they canceled it in February,
Yeah.
and so they've met in
March and April.
and April.
Okay, so they've had 2 opportunities to provide direction that would indicate to Jennifer what amendments or changes from what we've floated them would be amenable to them, or not even taking it that far, to simply provide some clue as to the specific reasons why the cancellation was issued in the first place. Okay, and we're still waiting on both of those pieces of information. Okay.
You know, the motion that they came out basically rejected what we sent. I mean, it wasn't, here's the items we want you to fix. It was a rejection because they said that we combined 2. And the other motion was to explore all options and bring them back to the board. So it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't really a go back to the town and tell them this, and this is what we want to change. It was saying that they rejected it and they want to know their options moving forward. So I kind of agree with the mayor that we have an obligation to at least explore our options and be prepared, you know, in case something does happen. I think we have that responsibility.
Just,
Greg, and then,
and let's not lose
Yeah.
sight of, they were the lead dog in canceling this arbitrarily, without any suggestions, amendments, or how to make the plan better. Just boom, canceled.
Garrett, and then Chief.
We're talking about future agenda, right? What we're gonna talk about. Okay. So just my 2 cents is, I would like to understand what the ramifications are, when it expires. I think we all get that, but I'd like to see a presentation of that on the agenda. And then I would like to see what all of our options are. And I mean, I take a lot, but all of them. I mean, we don't have ambulances anymore because we're working with Roanoke, and so then the MUD getting something for this. I mean, what are all and I think we need to list them out. And I mean, clearly that's not what I want to do. I mean, I think we all want to get this thing solved. But I agree 100% with Nick. We need a presentation and we need to know what we're up against, because, I mean,
Deadline.
yeah, we could be put in a really quickly awkward position, so we need to know where we're going.
Chief? And then I have a comment.
Real quick, I met with their committee that's working on their policies and procedures last Tuesday, and they provided us a copy of their short-term goals that they're working off of their assessment that was done by the company they brought in to assess the fire department. And on that remarks section, they did comment on 3 areas that they wanted to see in the ILA. And Patricia and I have been trying to hash that out to see how to fit that in, but it's all related around the comments about the chief, the fire chief, how to look for one, what the duty should be, and stuff like that. But that was the only information they provided to me about including in the ILA in the future.
So that was, though, from the committee made up of Neil Toomey, a
Director
director,
Toomey
and a
and
citizen, but not from the,
citizen.
but
Not
not
from
directed
the
from the board.
Right. No,
Correct,
that was
okay.
strictly.
Is this an ad hoc committee, or did they actually appoint this committee?
They appointed it
I'm not sure.
to work with the consulting firm report, is my impression.
Just some information.
So, item 8 on future agenda says discussions of interlocal agreements with TC Mud 1 for fire services and building services such as trash, drainage, et cetera. The agreement they canceled the ability for them to bill for trash, drainage, those kinds of things on their billing. And doesn't really have anything to do with fire, but that was in that ILA, and if they're not gonna continue to put that on their bill, and therefore provide that billing service, then we have to find a billing service, and that's gonna be hugely expensive for us.
It's actually two separate ILAs.
Right, there, it also cancels our collection of their permit fees and things like that,
As well
so.
as maintenance of this facility,
Maintenance of this
outdoor
facility.
landscaping maintenance of this facility, and basically this property from the Savor building towards the police station. We
I
do
mean,
all the maintenance here, or in terms of, we do the outdoor maintenance.
You know, I understand that what they were trying to do is say, those contracts have a cancel by date. If you don't do it by this date, it renews. And so they were giving notice saying, unless we fix it, we're not gonna renew, is one way. And so they took the option to cancel, but I just haven't seen a lot of action to try to solve something.